This is Colin Thompson interviewing Mr. Joseph Ferraris on the 4th of February. So to start with, could you give me your full name and date of birth, please?
Joseph Scott Ferraris. My date of birth is 15 July 1996.
Oh, we're the same age. What rank of what branch of the military are you in, and what is your rank?
I'm in the Air Force. I'm also in the Georgia Air National Guard, and I'm a technical sergeant, which is E6.
And what exactly is your job?
My job is cyber transport systems. So I guess to put it in dummy words, it's build the internet.
So what sort of duties do you have as part of this?
All right, hang on for this one. You need to buckle your seatbelt. It's hold on, give me a minute. To remember the official job description. The official one is to install, maintain, troubleshoot, and repair standard voice, data, and video telecommunications networks and cryptographic equipment.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So what, in a practical standpoint, what do you do?
Networking.
Networking. Okay.
Networking, pretty much. But because of the squadron I'm in, sorry, that's distracting. But in the work that we do, it's mainly network installation. So most of the time, I just end up messing with cables.
So as part of your career in the Air Force so far, have you been deployed to a foreign country?
I have. I actually just got back 2 days ago. My first deployment was 1819, and we were in West Africa. And on this one, we were in Southwest Asia.
So could you tell me a little bit about the sort of things you did?
Okay. So in Africa, we were building up a base. So we had 2 install teams, and we were doing the whole manhole duct system. So you ever seen the movie Holes? That was us. We were digging every day. Grandpa, I'm tired of digging. Well, that's too damn bad. Digging, putting in manholes, putting in conduit. We ran a little bit of fiber, but there wasn't a whole lot there yet for us ready. But in this last deployment, I was on the engineering team, so I ended up mainly just doing drawings, like technical drawings.
Gotcha. Okay. So how does mail delivery usually work while deployed?
If you're lucky, it's fast. So my last deployment, we were in Kuwait, and on average, it took about 2 to 3 weeks to get mail. But somebody sent me some stuff for Christmas, and they sent it like a month out, and I still haven't gotten it. So yeah. But we were in Africa, because the base was still being set up, it wasn't all the mail came straight from Germany. And so they had to make room on the plane that was also bringing us everything else. So that one, it took a good 2-3 months to get anything. So it was usually, Africa was really slow, but in Kuwait, it was decent. It wasn't, 2-day delivery, but I can wait 2 weeks for mail.
So would you say, you mentioned that it was faster in the other locations, but particularly slow in Africa. So about what would you estimate it took time-wise in the other locations?
In Kuwait or Africa?
Well, you said Africa could take anywhere from 1 to 3 weeks. What about Kuwait?
Oh, no. Africa was like 2 to 3 months.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, Kuwait was 2 to 4 weeks.
Okay, I misunderstood. Thank you for clarifying.
No problem.
So how did when mail arrived, what was the procedure then when it arrived at your base?
So when we were in Kuwait, each unit has a mail representative, and so they receive all the incoming mail for their unit, and it's up to them to divvy it out. They have like a form, everybody has to sign for their packages. But we were in Africa, we still had a mail, like a mail clerk. That's what they were called. Every unit had a mail clerk, except when mail came in, it all came in pallets. And there was like 250, 300 of us on base. So everybody would come out and we would all unload these pallets and put them on each PO box for everybody. And then from there, the mail clerk would sign off.
Okay.
So mail
Oh,
was a big deal. It was a big deal in Africa for the whole base to come out and start spreading it like Santa Claus.
do you know how mail would work in the other direction if you were like to send a letter or something home?
Yeah, so it's actually free to send a letter. Well, yeah, it's free to send a letter when you're deployed. And it's also free to send APO to APO, like any package. So like if we had like a package, so as for example, I had ordered some shoes when I first got to Qatar. And I ordered them to Qatar. But they came in like a week after I had left for Kuwait. And so they were able to mail them from Qatar to Kuwait. And because it was APO to APO, it was free. But mail-wise, there's a post office at each base, and you just go there. It looks the exact same. It's got the Blue Eagle and everything. But it's pretty straightforward.
So you mentioned that you had ordered shoes. Were there any other packages that arrived for you?
Yes. So we had, somebody had sent us this link. It was, I can't remember what it was called, but it was basically these random people would just send you stuff like snacks and cards and that kind of stuff. But so we would get mail. One guy, bless his heart, he would get boxes like at least once a week from some different woman. And so he had mail coming in every week.
Could you tell me a little bit more about the I guess program you referenced?
Let me check my email, see if I can still find the name of it. I know there's one, and one was called Adopt a Platoon. The other one, let's see if I can find it. Friends of the Troops was the other one.
Okay. So how often would those packages come in?
Those ones, they would come in probably about like once a month.
Okay. So what sort of items would arrive in them?
Snacks, Slim Jims. So a lot of them, they would ask like what you liked. So I ended up getting a lot of sunflower seeds, and like some sour gummy bears and the sour gummy stuff. Like pretty much you could ask them like, hey, do the stuff that we like, and they'll pretty much send it to you. And then they'll throw some extra stuff in there too. Like I think we had gotten some beanies, like some hand knit beanies and scarves. It's kind of homemade kind of stuff.
Okay. Do you happen to remember what other people received, or was it the same similar kinds of snacks?
Yeah, they were similar because everybody, they could write to email each one individually and tell them what they liked and what they preferred. But sometimes you could tell, like when we got like a bulk one, it's like, all right, everybody's getting the same stuff because it's all the same Slim Jims, all the same jerky brands and flavors, same chips. Yeah, I think like somebody's class had sent us like stockings full of candy and Christmas candies. I don't know how to describe it. It's just like you ever been like to like a grandparent's house and they have like all just like this assortment of like sweets and stuff that your parents don't want to give you? It's pretty much what it is. And so we just had this stockpile of candies in our office, and we're like, all right, there's too much of this. We can't eat it all. But
So you said a school sent that?
yeah, so because our one person, their wife, is a teacher, so her class wrote us letters and sent us some stockings and whatnot.
Okay. Was that the only time something like that happened? That like a school group sent something?
No, on my first deployment, we got some stuff from a classroom as well. So they're usually pretty well. Actually, we had 2 classrooms send us stuff this time. But it helps when the commander's wife is a teacher, so she always.
Gotcha. So you mentioned that they included letters. Were those hand typed or handwritten? Were they typed?
Yeah, they were handwritten. They were like, I want to say like early elementary. So they were very straightforward. My favorite color is blue, kind of stuff. But it was kind of nice to read them all. Get that, child's handwriting in there. Type it on your wall.
Did you respond to any of the letters?
We did. We wrote letters back because each one they had like written so like one child had written me a letter, so it wasn't like a mass letter. It was like each child was basically writing a letter to each member, and so we all would write back a specific letter back to each child and kind of references, so that way they knew like, hey, we actually read what you sent us.
Okay. Did you receive any subsequent, like did a correspondence open up, or was it just a simple
Just
thing?
one and done.
Okay. Was there a particular package that you remember as being a favorite?
On this past, yes. My parents, they had sent me a bag of just Lucky Charms marshmallows. So that was Lucky Charms is my favorite cereal. So the fact that they could find something where it was, sorry, there's a cat. The fact that they could find just the marshmallows, which in my opinion is the best part. That was, I opened it and I was like, what is this? Okay, I'm just sitting there just eating the whole thing in one day.
In your experience, were there ever any cases where somebody sent something that they weren't supposed to have?
I'm gonna plead the fifth on that one.
I mean, I understand the rumors go around. You hear about people who might have gotten something.
Yeah, I know. We were in one country and it was dry, and so somebody had, like those popsicle freezy sticks where they're plastic and you just freeze it. Their friend had taken a packet of those, cut the tops off, poured them all out, and poured various alcohols into each tube and color coded them, and then used like a hair straightener to crimp it back up. I know those got through.
Interesting.
Other than that, I know one guy, he got his package was actually checked because he got a bunch of bottles of shampoo, and so I think it was OSI. They opened up, they pretty much opened up his package, opened up the shampoo, make sure it was shampoo. And they put a little note in his package saying, hey, we opened it up.
Were checks like that common, or was it just when something potentially dubious?
I know this was rumored, but it was rumored that one lady, her husband had sent her beer inside of Coke cans. Like he had taken the beer cans, put them inside of a Coke, like cardboard package, and she lost all her mail privileges because of that, even though she was the recipient and not the sender.
Interesting. So was that a typical punishment for being caught with contraband, I suppose is the word?
Pretty much. Yeah, if you're receiving mail like that, pretty much.
I see.
Yeah.
Did you only hear of this one situation, or was it more common?
That was the only one I heard of.
Gotcha. So could you tell me a little bit about how receiving things from home made you feel?
They were nice. It was nice, especially in Africa because of how slow it was. Like it was played up to be such a bigger deal then. Um, I guess in I guess in Kuwait because it was my second deployment at that time. I guess it feels like yeah, cool. It's nice to get mail. Um, like I think it's more fun, not more fun, but fun's not the right word. What's the right word? I guess there's more like an emotional connection when it's like from somebody like as opposed to like some random person or something that you had ordered yourself. Just kind of get one of those things of like, oh, they're thinking about you. And my god sister, like she had sent me some stuff and she sent me a yo-yo of all things. I've never yo-yoed before, but I picked it up and I learned. Um, and it's like she had like, my niece and nephew, they put some drawings in there. So I take those up on my wall next to my desk. So that was special. I guess special is the right word.
Okay. So you mentioned that a few times, like groups, school groups, and then an organization sent things. Why do you think that people are so interested in sending things to strangers that are serving?
I think it's because so one of the guys, my person from Friends of the Troop, he was actually retired Army. So for him, it was easier for me to understand why he was doing it because he had been there. So he understood the importance of having something like that. Some other people, I think it's because just goodness of their heart, or they say, I get from my perspective, being deployed is a normal thing. Like it is what it is. But for other people, being away from home for that long, I guess it's frightening to them. Like they're like, oh, I could never do that. So I guess in a way they're like showing an appreciation for doing what they think they couldn't do. If that makes sense and doesn't sound narcissistic.
So how do you think modern technology, like easy access to the internet and video chatting, has affected sending things to soldiers?
It definitely has an effect on it because we had one guy, anytime he was having fun, his wife would call. And I go, oh, she's calling because she knows if she can smell you're having fun. And um, but like when we were in basic, there are no phones, there is no internet, there is no outside. All you have is mail, and so you're getting letters like every other day, or at least once a week or twice a week. You're getting mail or a letter. So I think it does kind of cut down on how much writing or mail does get sent out.
Okay. So do you think that, granted, you have mentioned that your deployment is somewhat limited and that the time span, sorry, on the mail was kind of slow because you were in lower developed areas. But do you think that mail or packages became less frequent as your time deployed went on?
Yes, because I know a couple of us, we had told our families, well, actually both times we were in Africa, we told them like, hey, it takes a good 2 months to send anything out. So we're 2 months from being home. So like, don't don't send anything else because we're not going to get it. I know a couple of us in Kuwait, we had told our families like, hey, we already have enough snacks. We already have, like, there's no need. Like, don't send us anything just because we already have this abundance of food that we can't all eat anyways, just because the pure amount of it. So yeah, we would just tell them like, hey, like, like send us something for Christmas. Make sure you send it early. Or if you want to send something for Christmas, make sure you send it early. But after that, like, don't bother sending anything else after that.
Was there anything in or any particular item in packages that you felt was overrepresented?
Beef jerky. Definitely. I mean, everybody likes beef jerky. It's good, it's delicious. And it doesn't age. Like, it'll stay good forever. But it's just, I don't know how to word it. It's just like, when you're eating the same thing every day and getting the same flavors every day, it's redundant. Because because beef jerky is usually a really good go-to that people will send, like, oh, I love that. But that's just my personal opinion. I don't really care for the beef jerky.
Okay. So if you were to put together a package for somebody serving overseas right now, what would you send them?
Ooh. Do I know the person or is it a random person?
Either or, you pick.
If it's a random person, I'm gonna send them beef jerky. If it's somebody I know, I would throw in like some pictures. Just because those, like, you can have pictures on your phone, but it's always nice. I get like a physical printed picture, because then you can tape it up on your wall. You can tape it up above your bed or in your room or wherever. And then I would throw in like whatever their favorite snacks are, and probably something else just to embarrass them. But yeah, just some small things that I know is going to provide like a lot of entertainment value.
Okay. Well, is there anything that comes to mind that you had wanted to discuss? Maybe something that I haven't touched on?
No, nothing I can think of.
Okay. Well, thank you for agreeing to be a part of the interview. It was very interesting.
No problem. Thank you.